Live from the chicken wing capital of the world, Buffalo, New York. You're listening to the Childcare Bridge podcast, your source for the best tips, tools, and tactics on how to market and grow your childcare center, ensuring total domination. Total domination. This is the Childcare Bridge, and this is your host, Michael Tasner.
So first off, Merry Christmas. I'm shooting this episode 2 days live before Christmas, but we always publish on the same day, and this year it will be on Christmas Day. So, I hope you're not listening to this on Christmas, but if you are, Merry Christmas. It has been a wild year, a fun year in the childcare industry with lots and lots of different twists and turns. In today's episode, I wanted to talk about leveraging the holidays, and in particular, how you can leverage the holidays in your marketing. In next week's episode, I will do a recap of our top 5 most listened to episodes and give you kind of a quick recap of what you need to be paying attention to for 2026. So when I look at the holidays, I see a couple of different types of centers in terms of how they approach it. You have one side where you're worried on making sure that you either don't offend people, that you're worried about the inclusive nature. And for transparency, I'm not going to weigh on one side or the other. I'm going to tell you what we do at my centers and what I see most of the centers doing. So if you're on the camp of kind of worrying about marketing materials or putting out certain things around the holidays, that's going to be a little bit of a tougher sell for this episode, because we're talking about how you actually can leverage this to move the needle, how to create a sense of urgency, but also to infuse some more fun into your marketing. Now, there are easy ways with certain holidays, so Christmas being one of which, that instead of making it a Christmas celebration for the month of December, that it's a happy holidays celebration. But as you go throughout the year, there are going to be certain holidays that not every single person that might be attending your center is going to follow. But what I've seen is, as long as you're doing it in a tactful way, that the people that don't necessarily follow that particular holiday, they're usually not standing outside your centers with protest signs saying, I can't believe you're talking about Easter, or you had the Easter bunny come in, or that the 4th of July celebration for America's 250th birthday, like all those different types of things. I normally don't see that. So I want you to look at what are some of the holidays that you want to kind of hang your hat on and participate in next year. So let's talk through a couple of those, and let's talk through how, again, we can use those to drive more enrollments, drive a sense of urgency. So with January, obviously you've got the New Year's celebration. And what I love about January is, it's traditionally the second best enrollment month, but it gives you that energy that you can market the entire month saying, fresh year, new opportunities, it's time for a new school, it's time for some change. So you can play off of the psychology and the emotional aspect as to where your families are currently. So with all of these different elements, you want to put your mind in the mindset of a family. What are they thinking about for January? What are they planning? What do their finances look like? What are their worries, concerns? What's keeping them up at night? So let's say they were deciding if they were going to put their kids in childcare, and they were kind of weighing on that, and they didn't do anything in December. But now this fresh year kind of rolls around, and it's this arbitrary thing that just happens. Not that anything is overly different from the 31st to the 1st other than a new year. But if you play off of that energy and you know that they're looking to make some changes, they want to make some decisions, they don't want to just keep doing the same things that they've been doing. If you know that's where they're at, then I want to see on your website, I want to see a banner that's calling this out. Maybe new year, new opportunities, new year, new school. You're calling some of these things out on the website, you're echoing these on social media, you're echoing them in your email marketing, in your signature files. So when I have holidays and holiday marketing, I like to go to the top and figure out what my theme is, and I typically like to have a theme for the entire month. And I'm not going to go through month by month by month. We're going to obviously pick a couple of the holidays that I believe are going to be the easiest one for you to implement. But when I have that theme, I want it echoed then across all of my marketing materials. I don't want to have a theme of, hey, new year, new opportunities, new school, new changes. And then when a family walks in, you're just kind of talking about things in generality. I want the tour to be tweaked a little bit to call out some of that languaging. I want your email autoresponders and those drip sequences that are warming up families. I want that stuff updated to the particular theme for that particular holiday. Now, I'm using the word theme and holiday a little bit interchangeably, but when I'm saying theme, ideally there is a core for the month that you can echo during that whole month, and then your marketing gets better with more and more places. So you've got it again on emails, you're echoing it in the tours, the website, the social media, they're seeing it everywhere. That's how you start to leverage the holidays so that you kind of basket that theme all together. You know the psychology of where that family is. And in some of these months that we'll talk about, you can kind of tug on the heartstrings. February, easy month. So, well, Michael, why is it easy? You've got Valentine's Day, which is a holiday that, one of those hallmark holidays, but it's celebrated and known by pretty much everyone. To me, this is a perfect month for you to wrap a referral campaign. We love our families, we love our kids, we love the community, and then you would, again, same kind of thing. You would update your social media, your website banners, your email sequences. Now, the asterisk with that one is that you would be updating your sequences only if it's tying into this referral campaign. So you're not going to be updating email sequences if it's a new lead and saying, hey, give us a referral because we love you. But you could be updating it, tying back into the theme. So again, if the theme is we love making the community impact, I want you to have some of that stuff in those particular emails. You go a little bit heavier during the particular month with that holiday. And again, you rinse and repeat across all the different areas. You might say, well, Michael, why does this work? Because people's minds, that they don't tend to look at the entire year. They tend to look at what's in front of them and what's all around them. And if you know that there are tens of thousands of other marketing messages that are hitting them every single day, and a lot of those are going to be whatever is hot right then. So New Year, for example, Valentine's Day. Then you look at all the other holiday opportunities. You have some that, again, that are a little bit easier. So you have Thanksgiving. That could be giving back to the community. You have 4th of July if you're doing something fun around the summertime, if you've got summer camp, for example. But you could be playing out the whole Americana aspect to where, again, your headers and different things in the website are being updated to reflect that. In 2026, it's America's 250th birthday. It's a big thing. There are a lot of, not news, but there's a lot of businesses that are starting to do things around that already. So how could you tie that in? Maybe you do a fun enrollment celebration month and you're tying into the Americana theme. People like to decorate for holidays. They like to celebrate holidays. And I know at your center or centers, you're often decorating and you're talking about things. But what I'm trying to convey to you today and to try and get you to do is to leverage these holidays to anchor things. So if you're anchoring in a holiday and then you're building that as your theme for the whole month, it just makes it more fun. Think about the trick-or-treating holiday. What happens then? Well, Michael, how Halloween, like what could we do with that? Maybe you have something spooky savings and we have our once a year, I don't want to say sale, but maybe it's an extra sibling discount, for example. But you're tying it in and it makes the marketing fun and different because you need to find some ways to stand out. That is what I'm also trying to convey to you. It's not just, I want you to use the holidays and to do promotions, but I want you to use the holidays and do promotions anchored so that all of your different tactics, website, emails, email signatures, text messages, tours, like all of that then is themed around that holiday and or that event. So that's part one. But part two is you've got to get out of the habit of just the same type of generic stuff that you're putting out. So Michael, how do we do that? Well, that is easy. Holidays. You've got all the big ones. You've got Thanksgiving. You've got Easter. You've got, I think I said Halloween already. You've got Christmas. You've got 4th of July. You've got Memorial Day, New Year's, Valentine's Day. Great. Well, what are some of the other ones? Well, take it a step further and start to look at some of the other zany ones, which I'm sure you've seen those different calendars that list out National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day or whatever those are, but there's teacher appreciation weeks and even teacher appreciation months. There's appreciation for first responders. So there's different things that you can look at doing. But what I don't want you to do is to just go and find all those random holidays and that every week you're updating it to whatever the new funky holiday is. Anchor it for a month so that you're able to kind of test and see, was there a bit of a lift? But what this allows you to do is to be a little bit more fun with your graphics and the creative. You can be a little bit more playful. It would be strange for you to have some spooky stuff going on your website in the next couple of weeks, but in the month of October, it's a lot more accepted, and that stuff's going to catch their eye, and that very well might cause them to take some more action. So what you want to do is start to reverse engineer what does your year look like, and obviously you've got January right around the corner, so you need to make sure that you are not behind the curve. I talked either last week or the week prior on the podcast about building out your first couple of months for that marketing calendar so that you don't walk into the year saying, well, what are we doing? What are we promoting? What ads are we going to run? What number of enrollments do we need? You start to look at, okay, great. January, let's do some fun stuff around New Year's. February, let's do some fun stuff around Valentine's Day. And then you can decide what you want to do for March. Now, again, there will be some holidays, like Easter, for example, obviously is a religious holiday. Christmas is a religious holiday. And if you have to be a little bit more generic based on the type of center that you have and the demographics at your center, you can do that. But there's also, there's that line to where you don't want to be so neutral that, again, you end up being ignored. Your marketing needs to be more fun. It needs to take a stand with something. You want to make sure that you're putting that out to where it's not just, again, getting lost in the noise that maybe in April, for example, you got some kids and maybe there's an Easter egg, but it's in the background and it's blurred out so you can't really make it out, and that you just say, have a good holiday or something. So you have to kind of draw that line. Like, that's not what I want you to do. If you're going to participate in the holiday, go all in. Make sure that your marketing gets updated. But I have seen anywhere from a 10 to 30% lift of enrollments, lead flow, etc., just by leveraging holidays. That is all that I'm looking for you to do. Start to build out that marketing calendar. Pick some of the fun holidays that you want to use as ways to drive extra enrollments, more referrals, and then start to build out those marketing assets. Have an amazing Christmas, a great holiday, and I will catch you next week for the last episode of 2025. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. See you next week.